No. No. I haven't been doing embroidery for a while. It'll look like that, basically. Terrible. If I had known what this was about, I would have picked this up immediately. What do you have to say for yourself, sir? What do you have to say? That poor yarn. Do you know I wanted my world rocked? That didn't happen. It is the trope that shall not be named. I can't figure out just what to do. Her water is knocked over and then thinks, must have been my cell phone. Hello, my bookish friends. Welcome or welcome back. I'm Elizabeth. This is Reading Riley, where we like to read Riley, not take ourselves too seriously, have some fun with books. We're starting a reading vlog. That's what's happening right now. Excuse this, it's morning. I'm pampering. I think I may have put these on the wrong side. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's not worry about it. Okay, let me explain myself a little bit. I'm behind on content. That is because I just finished my first semester back to school. I only took 2 classes, but one of them was statistics and kicked my ass. I ended up getting an A, so I'm extremely proud of myself. So this last couple weeks have just been like kind of insane. Now I'm back, I'm here, and I'm reading, and I'm excited. Let me tell you what I'm reading, first of all. This one is a huge priority because I got this for my book of the month. This is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Willingham. Hugely anticipated book. This is an early release with book of the month. I've started reading it. Now this I'm also going to be buddy reading with my friend James at James's Space. Go check out their channel. They're amazing. Love them to death. But I don't think they have started it yet. So as of now, I am on page 70. So I'm going to be reading this physically, of course, because it's early release. There's no audio. So again, I'm going to find myself in a position where I have to read a physical book with no audio, which I don't like to do, but I like to make exceptions for special things. I'll probably keep coming back to this and keep an audio going throughout this vlog and then come back to this as James catches up so we can talk about it before I move forward and all of that. So far, I guess I should tell you what this is about if you don't know. So we're following Chloe Davis, and when she was a teenager in Louisiana, actually not even, she was like 12 years old, these girls started going missing in her very small town. It was like 6 girls. It was terrifying for them. 20 years later, in present tense, 2019, again, another one where she specifically said it in 2019, I assume to avoid the panorama discussion. Current day, she is a psychologist. I'm enjoying that aspect of it because if you watch my channel, you know that I love psych talk, psychology, all of that. I love just like talking about it and investigating and trying to figure out why people do the things they do and all of that. Just her and her brother. Her dad's been convicted of these murders from the past. So now originally I thought this was dual timeline. It's not dual timeline. It's all set in present timeline, but it's also just kind of giving you information from the past as we move forward. And she's engaged to the perfect guy, which is suspicious. 70 pages in, I'm not incredibly enraptured in this. I'm not on board yet, so to speak. I'm not gonna like make any concrete judgments, obviously. Like I'm still at the very beginning of this book, but I'm not like super invested in these characters yet. Like I don't really care one way or the other. So we'll see about what that says about the writing style and how I feel about it and all of that. I hope this isn't distracting because it's distracting me. Maybe I should just take these off. Oh, do I look youthful? Probably not because I have no makeup on. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. Hi Denver. Yes, I just ate a cheese stick. At the very beginning, I think it's a prologue. Is there a prologue? Yeah, in the prologue, she talks about monsters and how when she was little, she thought monsters were everywhere and they are constantly creeping around corners and you'd feel their eyes on you and you feel it all the time. But then as she gets older, you really see who the real monsters are, and the real monsters are real people. Brought back these memories from when I was a kid, and in my house growing up, we had this stairway up to go upstairs that had a 90-degree angle. And within that little angle there was no good lighting, at least for a long time. My dad eventually put a light in there. But so you would go up the stairs, and once you got to the part where you turn the corner, it was always dark, and I always thought there was a monster chasing me. I would run up those stairs as fast as I possibly could because I knew they were like this close to catching me every time I went up and down those stairs. And so that really brought me back to that place when she was talking about that. So I appreciated that. But anyway, I'm just babbling. Let's continue. I'm also reading, my audiobook right now is The Last House on Needless Street. This is one I've been just needing to get to. I've seen such mixed reviews. Some people hate it, some people absolutely love it. I don't know what to feel. I need to figure out my own opinion about this before I keep judging it. I am actually almost halfway through this one right now. I started it last night, and so far, like, the audiobook's amazing. I kind of have an idea of what the twist is. I think I know what it is, and I think it's also a trope that I tend to like that a lot of people don't. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to enjoy this all the way through, and so far I really am. The audiobook narrator is fabulous. Narrators, I can't even tell if it's one person or several people. I'm really enjoying the writing style. Our main character, Ted, he's a little strange. He's in this house and he kind of keeps himself in the house and doesn't want, he blocks off all the windows, doesn't want, the outside world is dangerous. He does leave, but he's not like agoraphobic, but he's very much secluded. He's got this cat, Olivia, who also has a perspective in this, which is really fun. And Olivia is pretty hilarious. She's very religious, and she knocks the Bible off of the mantle. Whatever verse it opens on is what she believes God is the message that he's giving to her for that day. And then there's Lauren or Laura, who is Ted's daughter, who also lives there. And I think she's supposed to be like a tween. Their relationship is complicated too. And then there's this popsicle girl who, however many years ago in the past, like this is the anniversary of the popsicle girl's disappearance on this lake. He keeps bringing her up. She is connected somehow. We don't know how. Characterization of Ted, I think, is really, really well done so far. Like, you're getting misinformation. You're getting misinformation because you're hearing it from his perspective, and you know that he can't necessarily be trusted as a narrator. And you get the impression that he's this like really big, gruff man with this big beard, big red beard, brown hair, just like very big dude. But his voice is almost childlike. And it's very clear that we're just like, something's not right with him. Also, Olivia the cat refers to all humans as Teds, which is funny because she's like, there's a male Ted and a female Ted. And Olivia's also in love with a stray cat that she gets like a peephole through, like, and she watches outside, which is hilarious. I'm going to try to make sure I don't give you guys too much information. I feel like lately I've been maybe too forthcoming about some of the books that I've read. Like, nobody's complained or anything, but I'm just like paranoid that I'm accidentally spoiling things for you guys, which I don't ever want to do. I just want to be really careful about the details that I tell you. It's a very hard thing to do, to figure out the balance between giving you enough information to pique your interest, but also not give something away to where it's going to ruin your experience if you do choose to read the books. I'll probably end up doing more like spoilery sections so that I can talk about some things, but making sure I warn you guys in advance so that you're not spoiled if you don't want to be. This is my time right now. I'm done with class. It's Christmas season. Like, I can just read whatever I feel like reading. I don't have to feel pressure to have like a theme or anything like that. So, I don't know, my next book may not be a thriller, it may be, or horror, it may be Christmas, it may be fantasy. I don't know. It's gonna be whatever I feel like. So that's what's happening. Okay, I just finished The Last House on Needless Street. I love it. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. If I had known what this was about, I would have picked this up immediately. This book is, and now I understand why it cannot be spoken. It is the trope that shall not be named. The twist that shall not be named, I guess. What can I say to you that's not spoilery? I don't know if I can say anything. The way this was done, I think, was well researched. The way the plot unfolded, I really liked, I really appreciated. It takes you, what do I say? What can I say? There were a few words, phrases that were mentioned towards the beginning and throughout the book. And the second I heard those phrases, that phrase in particular, I knew what this was going to be. See, anything I tell you, it gives it away. This is something that's been an interest of mine since I can remember. The twist of this book is something that before I even was a reader has interested in me and shaped who I am. Ugh, it's really tough because I don't want to tell you what it is. I just thought it was so interesting, and it actually ended on this like heartwarming note, which I appreciated. But you definitely go on this journey with these characters. You are on a journey. I understand why some people wouldn't finish it. This is definitely one of those books that until you know what's going on, it just feels like chaos. You know, it feels like nonsense. It feels like bullshit. But once you realize what's going on, it makes absolute perfect sense. I highly recommend this to everyone. I think it's great. It's 5 stars for me. I love it. I love it. I need to get a physical copy. I love it. I do want to talk about some spoilers, so I'm going to pop something up here, and whenever that is gone, if you don't want to be spoiled, just fast forward through whenever that is gone, because there are a lot of things that I want to talk about this twist. So this is your warning. Get out now if you don't want spoilers. Okay, let's go. Okay, so dissociative identity disorder. This is what got me into psychology to begin with from the get-go. I heard about this disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder, or it used to be anyway, and became just super intrigued. And when I went to college 15 years ago to study psychology, that was what I wanted to study. I wanted to study dissociative identity disorder. It's not ever been fully accepted in science. And the school that I was at, which I didn't realize at the time, was very much focused on behavioral psychology. And so I couldn't study things like that because that's considered to be, like I said, pseudoscience. It's like along the lines with like Freudian stuff even. But anyway, I read this book I want to tell you guys about. And I kind of don't even know if I should hold it up because if people are scrolling through, I don't want them to notice. I guess they won't from the title. But this book is by Dr. Cameron West. It's called First Person Plural, My Life as a Multiple. This book changed my world. This is a nonfiction. This man, Dr. Cameron West, suffers with dissociative identity disorder. He takes you through his entire story. When his alters started coming out, he shows you passages from his notebook when he was growing up that his alters would draw. Like different alters have different handwritings. Let me see if I can find one. Can you even see that? Oh, this particular one I got at Half Price Books, and there's actually a letter in here from the author to someone that had written to him. Where's that picture that was terrifying? Sad Davy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He wanted to understand what was going on with him, and so he went to school. He got his doctorates just to try to understand what was happening inside his mind, and he ends up unearthing all these terrible, traumatic shit that happened in his past. It's riveting. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. First Person Plural by Dr. Cameron West. What else do I want to say? I thought it was really cool that the roles got reversed. That actually Dee is the one that left her sister for dead, and in fact Ted had nothing to do with it. It was his mother who was the fucked up one, which is, I was confused along the way because I was like, well, okay, if Lauren's a multiple, I knew the dissociative identity was a thing all along, but I didn't realize all of them were one. I thought Ted and Lauren were one for a while, and then when it was revealed that Lauren and Olivia were one, I was like, oh, well then, but some of these things don't make sense with Ted, and then it was revealed that Ted was all of them as well, and I was like, ah! Like, oh my gosh, I just loved it. Okay, I'll take off the spoiler now. Love this book. This could be a favorite. Like, this absolutely could be a favorite. It touches me on such a deep level. It's just so interesting and fascinating to me. I just think it was really, really well done. So, bravo, Catriona Award. Brava, bravo, brava, whatever. We don't need to gender your applause. Oh yeah, so here I am. This is how far I've gotten with this. Not very far. Denver's having a moment. I'm gonna try to finish this by the end of this vlog. And I haven't been doing embroidery for a while. It's just something that I've been wanting to get back into because I've gotten in the habit of playing Best Fiends while I listen to audiobooks. And I'm like, well, I should be doing something more productive. So These I've had a lot of fun doing, and I got kind of obsessed with it for a while and then I burned out. So I want to kind of get back into it, and I feel like this is going to be cool when it's done. Did I show you what it was going to look like when it was done? Well, my printer printed this in black and white, but it'll look like that basically, but not in black and white. Also, in case you're wondering why my hair is not curly lately, it's because this cut I love, but when I wear it curly, my bangs are way too short right now. And as my husband so lovingly pointed out last night, it makes me look like Rick Ross. So before that comment, I had already decided, like, we're just gonna be wearing it straight for a while until they grow out. It's just, they're too short and it's like, it's not cute. Anyway, I gotta figure out what my next audiobook I'm gonna pick up is, because I'm not ready to sit down with A Flicker in the Dark again right this moment. I want something. What is he doing? What is he doing? I want something else. So I'll get back to you as soon as I figure that out. Better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better get your nose out of my food, bitch. You better work. I'm excited for this. I even made the dressing. Also, this is my TBR for Thrills of the Weekend, if anyone's interested. Hell yeah. This is it. This is it. I am so stoked for all of these. Can't wait. Yeah, I just want to pop in here to say, it's the same day. Listen. I've been listening to this, A Familiar Sight by Brianna Labuscus for the last, like, I don't know, 3 hours. I'm almost halfway done with it. I don't like it. I don't want to listen to it anymore. I'm not saying I'm going to permanently DNF it, but I'm putting it down right now. I'm picking something else because I'm not feeling it, and I can't live my life this way. I can't do it. You can't make me. So I'm going to pick something else out. Okay, goodbye. What's up, people? All right, it is the next day. I am working on my embroidery. I guess I'll just show you that when I get inside. I've been working on it this morning and I realized I have to actually buy a tassel for the hair. Like, it's just a tassel. It's not something you make with it. I suppose you could, but anyway, I'm gonna go to Michael's and get a tassel. I started reading The Winter People last night, and I think I'm about halfway through with that now. And I'm enjoying it. Vibes are awesome. Atmosphere is great. It's very eerie. It's a little bit of a slower pace with like this growing, mounting feeling of dread, where you know something has happened in the past, something to do with this diary of this woman and this ring, but you don't know why. You don't know why. You don't know how. We're following 3 different families, and they're all getting thrown through the ringer. We keep going back and forth in time, and then there's just a lot of weird stuff about potentially bringing people back from the dead. And you know what's funny is I started this, I was like, oh, Winter People. I read the first chapter of that in my try a chapter thing. I was like, so I already know what I'm getting into, like, just go ahead and start that. And then it starts and I was like, wait, I've never read this. And I realized I read The Invited, the first chapter. So I thought I was starting The Invited, but I wasn't. And it's a totally different story. But this one I've also been meaning to read, so it works. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the store and I will check back in a little later. Okay, time for updates. Let's just show you my embroidery. Okay, so I had to learn a new stitch for this. Oh, you really can tell. I got more of this color and I thought it was the same, but it's not quite. So that kind of sucks. But the stitch is pretty cool because it actually does look like a sweater. So that's how far I am on that. I did mess up a little bit because this was supposed to be like half the width of a thread that I actually used. So it's not as fine as it's supposed to be, but I think it looks okay. I couldn't find any tassels at Michael's. Well, I did. They had these and they had these, but it wasn't what I needed. So I found this yarn on sale. And it kind of matches my hair. So I thought, I thought I'd use this. And so I made my own little tassel. And I'm probably gonna have to trim it a little bit, but this is what I ended up with. Isn't it cute? So when it's done, it's gonna look something like that. This is a little wild, but you know what? I like it. I also bought these little resin flowers. I'm thinking I might put one of these little flowers in her hair. I'm like getting really carried away on this project, but I also just finished Winter People. I'm kind of sad that it's over because I really need to get back to a flicker in the dark, but that means I can't work on my embroidery while I do it. So I may even just add another book to this vlog so I can keep working on this because I'm kind of obsessed again. I'm obsessed again, Jesus. Anyway, so Winter People, how do I feel? How do I feel? I don't know how I feel. I'm not blown away by it. I thought it was well written. I thought it was cultivated in a meaningful way, the way that the plot was set up. But there was a lot going on. Anytime there's like multi-generational things, it makes me weary. But I mean, I think it was a solid book. Atmospheric and creepy, kind of like a slow burn haunting, like very just like haunting vibes. So like, yeah, it was good. Am I blown away? Am I like, this is one of my new favorite books ever? No, but I'm not mad about it. Like, I'm not mad that I read it. And it was pretty quick. Went through it pretty quickly. Anyway, so I think I'm going to end up giving this 3.5 stars. So, solid read. Would recommend. Definitely if you like more like mysteries. I guess it's technically horror because it's like involving ghosts and paranormal and stuff. But if you like a very atmospheric mystery, I think this would be good for you. I'm going to probably just pick up something else to read and keep working on this because I'm getting obsessed until it's done. Sweater weather. Sweater weather. This shit's taking so long, like hours on just the sweater, but I think it looks really cool. Can you tell Denver put his nose in my yarn ball? Can you tell? You assaulted my yarn. How do you feel? What do you have to say for yourself, sir? What do you have to say? That poor yarn did not consent. It did not consent. Denver, this is not the type of dog that I raised you to be. I raised you to be a gentleman. I'm so disappointed. I know you're ashamed. I can see it in your face. I started They Never Learn by Layne Fargo last night, and I am now probably 60% done with it. I can't believe I'm just flying through these books. I feel like I'm just like, and then after I finish this today, I'm going to get back to A Flicker in the Dark. And that's going to take me just as long to read as these past 3 books have taken me, I guarantee it. But I'm going to try to finish this up before this weekend because it's Thrills to the Weekend this weekend. So I have to finish it. So maybe that'll light a fire under my ass. I was talking to Beth about this book because from Beth's All Booked. If you don't know her channel, go check it out. She didn't like it. And so it's been on my list forever to read and I never got to it. I saw her video and I was like, oh no, we have very similar tastes. I was like, oh no, I shouldn't like it. Anyway, I was talking to her about it and she was like, well, I just need to know, am I crazy? And I was just at that moment looking for something else to pick up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. We'll see if I like it. So far, I like it. There's a twist about halfway through, like right at the halfway point, that got me really good, that I was not expecting, had no idea that was coming at all, and really appreciated that twist. If that's kind of where it ends, as far as the deception, then I might be a little disappointed. If there's another twist in there like that, then this is gonna like shoot straight up. So we'll see how that goes. I will say I'm listening to the audiobook, as you know, and the narrator it's 2 perspectives. You have Scarlett and Carly. I guess I should tell you in case you don't know what's happening in this book. Basically, we are following Scarlett, who is a professor at Gorman College, English professor, I believe. She's also a murderer. She's a killer. She kills men who have wronged women in some way. This is supposed to be a feminist thriller. She falls on the villainous side to morally gray, like somewhere in between there. But you kind of root for her at the same time. It's one of those things where you're like, well, she's a terrible person. And she even talks about how she has the urge to continue killing. But she is very clever. She's very witty. She's very smart. It's kind of fun to see that perspective from a female where it's usually a man. I like to think that women would be better at killing because they would think of more things, think of the evidence, and she's pretty good at that. And then Carly is a freshman at Gorman College, and she is kind of awkward. She's kind of the plain Jane. She doesn't really stand out in a crowd. She's used to getting overlooked. She's got some family issues happening between her parents, and it's her first time away from home. It's kind of like a coming of age. She's like figuring out who she is and all of these things, and she ends up having feelings for her roommate. Yeah, I guess that's where I'll leave it there. One thing that's really interesting, that's just kind of weird and random about this and my perception of it, is the audiobook narrator. The woman who is playing the voice of Scarlett, it reminded me of somebody, and I was like, who does this sound like? And this never happens when it's just voices. I was like, who does she sound like? Who does she sound like? And I kept thinking about it, kept nagging on the back of my brain, and I realized who she sounds like to me, and it's Lilith from Frasier. Random reference here. I don't know if there are any Frasier fans out there besides me, but I am obsessed. I love Frasier. If you don't know what that is, it's a 90s sitcom. I think it's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's hilarious. And she has a specific cadence to her voice, this kind of a raspy, deep tone. It's exactly Lilith. Like, I had to look up who the audiobook narrator is so that I could see if it was. I was like, this is her, it's her. It wasn't her. But anyway, because of that, the whole time I've been listening to this, I'm picturing Lilith in my head as Scarlett. I think it works. Just a random thoughts in my mind. Moving on, I'm gonna finish this today. I've got a few things to do around the house, a few errands to run here and there. We have the nugget later. And then I'm gonna finish this embroidery today as well. So I'm done with the sewing part. If you're not aware, that blue pen marks that were on here, it's water soluble fabric pen. So last night I sprayed her down and it erases with water. So I sprayed her down and then I hung it up to dry. We're dry again. Oh, I also painted one hand. I guess I should put that on my list to do the other one. So you just let it dry and then there's no blue marks left after that. So even if you're not exactly on the line, then it doesn't matter. So now there's just finishing touches. I also kind of I redid my tassel and like unraveled this hair, and so, or this yarn, so it looks more like hair, I think anyway. So it's got like kind of a fluffier texture to it now. So I think this is gonna work out pretty cool. It does shed a lot, so I have to like figure that out. And then I've got to kind of sew in the seams, and I'll show you guys how to do that too if you want. Okay, we're back in the car. It is now Thursday. I am slightly in panic mode right now. I have so many things to do. Tomorrow starts Thrills to the Weekend. I'm co-hosting with Beth. This is Jacqueline's readathon. I will link her down below as well, and Beth. And anyway, I have so much to do on top of finishing up A Flicker in the Dark. I want to post this video tomorrow, and tomorrow starts the readathon, so I don't want to be reading this for the readathon, so I have to finish it today. I'm on page 150 now of A Flicker in the Dark. But before we get into that, let's talk about They Never Learn, because I did finish that and I don't think I updated you guys. It was good. It was a good book. It was fine. It was probably a little bit overhyped for me anyway. That twist in the middle was great. I loved it, but then it just kept going from there. There was nothing else shocking. If it had been done like Alice Feeney's book, Rock, Paper, Scissors, where there's that twist and then you just get twisted again on a kind upon twist upon twist, that's what I was hoping for, because I wanted to get wanted to get rocked, you know, I wanted my world rocked. That didn't happen. After that twist in the middle, it just came too early, you know, bring it later on so I don't have time to reflect on it and like put everything together, because I put everything together. There was one slight twist towards the end, but it was nothing shocking to me. Altogether, I thought it was fine. And I'm probably going to give it like 3.5 stars. So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think it's a bad book. I liked it. I liked the message. I rooted for our protagonists, but it's not going to be one of my favorites. And it's not like the best thing I've ever read. So we're going at 3.5 stars. Definitely overhyped. Okay, let's talk about A Flicker in the Dark. I'm now on page like 150. I'm still not loving it. There's some like just really weird things in the writing where she was like, I put my bangs back and my collarbones popped. I'm like, how? My collarbones don't do anything when I do this. They stay the same. So like just stuff like that where I'm like, that's weird. You know, I'm like, okay. So I think I'm just not loving the writing. I think the story's good so far. Some people have said it's predictable. If it is what I think it is, then yeah, probably is predictable. And I honestly don't think I'm going to love this as much as I want to love it. I'm not going to like count it out just yet. Obviously, I still have 200 pages left. I'm not even halfway through. But honestly, like, I'm just, the way it's told, I almost would have preferred it was a dual timeline, because every time she'll be like on a subject and then she'll be like, oh yeah, and then 20 years ago today I did this and this and this, and that part is like boring the shit out of me, and I'm like, wait, you had a thought. It's like when you're like talking to someone and they start going off into a tangent and you're like, wait, tell me what you were saying. What were you? Just spit it out. Spit it out. Like, that's how I feel about this book right now. Wait, I was interested and then you just went a different direction, and I don't care about that. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because I am on a time crunch and I don't necessarily want to read it, and I wish I had a fucking audiobook. I signed up for NetGalley and I accidentally signed up as media, thinking social media. But no, there's like a reviewer blogger section that I should have signed up for. And so now my profile looks sketchy as fuck, and they haven't approved me for this book. And I'm like, why? And I can't figure out how to change it. And I had to like email them and be like, excuse me, I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, I just had a lot of matcha too. Okay, so what am I doing right now? I need to go get sugar cookies and icing for Thrill to the Weekend for our live show. So that is on my list here of things to do. I also need to get some wine for that, coffee. That's about it as far as errands. Gotta do some cleaning, some laundry, bake the actual cookies so they're ready. I can do that tomorrow if I need to. Though I've never like ever baked cookies. I mean, I have, but just the ones that you cut from the block, you know, I don't know. I need to finish this book. That's my next big thing to do. We're off to the store to get things. Okay, this day is not going how I planned. I've had so many setbacks today. Oh my gosh. First, I was going to Walmart to get all the things, and I forgot my wallet. I had to come back home. Then I went there and I got distracted, and I was like, oh, I need this for Christmas. I need that for Christmas. I need these things. I need to get a stocking for my dog because he can't be neglected. I mean, look at this face. You can't neglect this face. He needed a stocking. And so I got that. I got all these things. Then I was planning on picking up my gift that I got from my husband on Saturday because it's really big. And so I like enlisted the help of his friend to come like help me carry it, put it in the car and unpack it and all that. And they called me today and they're like, ma'am, you need to pick this up or your order is going to be canceled by end of business. I'm like, what? And so that's like 30-minute drive away. And so they ended up packing it in my car. Denver, now look at him. He knows what's in his stocking now. He knows what's in there now and he's trying to get it. I see you. Anyway, so now I can't tell you what it is because what's happening? I can't tell you what his gift is because he may watch this and I'm gonna post it before Christmas, but I shouldn't even tell you where it is because if he sees it, he's gonna know. He's not gonna look though. It's in my car and I just put a blanket over it because I can't lift it. It's too heavy. And oh my God, why? This is the story of my life. So hopefully he doesn't notice. Don't be suspicious. 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 Do you mind? Denver? Do you like my hat? I'm tired of reading. I have 100 pages left. I'm on 250. So far, all of my predictions have come true. Cause my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of loving you on my mind. I can't figure out just what to do when the turning man is you. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control and something takes over me. In a days you look so amazing, it's not a phase. I want you to stay with me, but outside I'll swallow my pride. Okay, god damn. Okay, I'm on page 293. I have like less than 60 pages left to go. I'm waiting for something to blow my mind. Nothing has yet. But I have to mention the sheer amount of times that she talks about her cell phone violently vibrating. Violently vibrating. Like across the table, like what kind of cell phone do you have? That's pretty intense. In fact, she says that her water is knocked over and then thinks, must have been my cell phone on vibrate that knocked over my glass of water. This doesn't does this happen to y'all? Do cell phones vibrate? Because mine just goes boo, boo. It doesn't it's not violent. I don't understand. I really just want to finish this at this point. Like, I don't think there's any redemption right now. I don't think there can be any redemption. I'm really disappointed. It seems very in need of editing. Like, this is very clearly her first book. I feel like I'm being harsh, but like, I just want to get it over with. Like, I just want to finish it so I can be done with it at this point. It's so disappointing. I'm so disappointed right now. Okay. I've got my ring light on, so I'm not yellow, but now I feel like I'm literally glowing. Anyway, I don't know what time it is. It's late. I just finished this. I regret it. Listen, this book, it's not very good. The story is good. The story itself is a good story. The writing, no, this is obviously a debut. It's very, and like more obvious than I've ever seen before. It's so obviously a debut to me. I think she used the word flicker like 15 times, and I don't know if that was supposed to be like a nod to the title. Like every time, I felt like every time she used it, she was like, the title. And I'm like, oh my god. Oh, sweaty bottles. Sweaty bottles. Like your orange juice, your beer, your bottle of Coke, whatever it is, it's all sweaty. Everything's sweaty. Every time someone's drinking something, it's a sweaty bottle. Like, stop mentioning that. Also, the violent cell phone, like, I just can't get over that one. I can't do it. Some of the references, they're just so, like, this needed editing. Why did no one tell her this? Why did no one tell her this? The story itself is good. Like, it's a good story, but the way it's written is so terrible. I'm hopeful for the adaptation. I think the adaptation is going to be great. I think if they do it right, it could be fun and awesome. This was just so hard to get through. Oh my dear Lord. The characters were not well written either. Like our main character, Chloe, I'm like, I don't even know I just finished this like 5 minutes ago. I don't even know her name. Our main character, Chloe, there's nothing special about her. She could be literally anyone, and anyone could stand in for her, and the story wouldn't change. Like, there's no depth to the characters at all. There are things that don't make sense that she's obviously using to move the plot along that just are stupid. Throughout this whole book, I don't think this is a spoiler, but throughout the whole book, her father is known to be the killer of these girls from 20 years ago, whatever. And she's getting so much hate from everybody. Like, everyone hates her specifically. And it's like, what? Like, no one would be like, you 12-year-old are a motherfucker because your dad killed these girls. No one would, like, be that harsh on a 12-year-old. Like, that just doesn't, I mean, maybe some people would, but I can't see it being a recurring theme. Like, that just makes no sense. So many things don't make sense in this, and I understand what she was trying to do, I really do, but it was not there for me. It did not work for me at all. I'm not having it. I'm so sad because I wanted to love this book so much, and I thought it was going to be really great, and it just wasn't. I'm hoping that, like, because it's her first book, like, that she'll progress and things, it will get better, but another one like this, and I'm going to be no more, no mas. So yeah, there's that. So I'm gonna wrap this vlog up. I have read 4 books in 4 days. I think it's been 4 days. So I pretty much had my own marathon before Thrill Till the Weekend. Thrill Till the Weekend starts in the morning. So I'm like literally double marathoning. I don't know why I do this to myself. Why do I do this to myself? So let's see. I don't know what I'm going to rate this. What am I going to rate this? Ugh. I think it's got to be a 2-star. That's what it's feeling like to me, is a 2-star, unfortunately. So this is a 2-star. We have The Last House on Needless Street is a 5-star. So I did get a 5-star book out of this vlog. Not mad about that at all. I'm so glad I read that. I'm so glad I vlogged it, because then y'all got to see that as well. And then we had 2 3.5 stars. So we had They Never Learn was 3.5 stars for me, and The Winter People was 3.5 stars for me as well. Both solid reads, definitely recommend. I do think that maybe some people will like this. I think this is probably going to be another one that is divisive. This is very predictable. But I think if you're if you're not as deep into thrillers as I am and as some other people are on Booktube, then this might be fun for you to read. So if it's kind of like you're new into the genre, this would probably be a fun read for you. But the writing style just got me. I just couldn't handle it. I actually started marking all of the things that they said that were just weird. I don't know if you can see where I tabbed everything, but I literally just started like turning down pages like, oh, that's fucking weird. That's weird. Why would you say that? Like, there's so many things in this that she just says things strangely, and I'm like, why? Like, that makes no sense. But yeah, so we've read 4 books. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed so I can wake up tomorrow and bake some cookies and get into the thrills of the weekend. So I'll see you guys there, and hopefully I can have this edited and up by tomorrow. Thank you so much if you're still watching. This has been a long one, I know it has. If you're still watching, I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on the other social medias. That's all going to be listed below as always. Also, all of these books will be in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget that life is short, so read Riley. Cheers. Goodbye.